video is going to guide you through some very basic foundational core strengthening exercises. Most of what we are going to do is going to be in neutral spine, so no flexion, no extension, just learning about neutral spinal stability. So for the first one, we're just going to be working on some abdominal breathing. Go ahead and lay yourself down onto the mat and place your fingertips on just the insides of your hip bones. So your hip bones here and then on the inside. And we're just going to take a few breaths where we inhale through the nose and then hot exhale through your mouth. And go ahead and continue that breath. And as you exhale, there should be this easy depression of your abdominals pulling down that's coupled and coming from that hot exhale. So if we inhale here and exhale, just a couple more. And last one. From here, we'll explore what neutral pelvis is. So keeping your hands on your hips, go ahead and tilt your pelvis towards your nose, so you'll flatten out your back. And then tilt your pubic bone, the tip of your pelvis, away from you. And you should have kind of a little bit of an arch in your back. Go ahead and do that a few more times where you're imprinting the spine into flexion and going into extension on the other side. And make sure that when you're coming into this flexion, you're not pushing through your feet and kind of puckering, like tucking the butt. Really draw from that hot exhale that you just practiced. And then on the other end, when you're going into extension, try not to flare the ribs. If anything, keep your hands on the ribs so that you keep that in check and just work below. Yeah. So you have imprinted spine and extended spine. From there, somewhere in the middle is neutral. And another way to know if you're in the middle is if you take a diamond with your hands and you place the fingertips on your pubic bone and the thumb on your belly button, and make sure that your diamond is flat. So if you feel like you've got kind of this like upward swoop with your fingers, you're a little bit imprinted, and then vice versa. If you feel like your thumbs are higher than your fingers, then you're in extension. So figure out where your neutral is, where your diamond is flat. And then this is where you want to stay for the next couple exercises. So if this is new to you, like a lot of people tell me when this is new for them, it feels like they're really arching in their back. And that might be you too. You can check with yourself and make sure that your diamond is flat. Just working your back spinal muscles to support your spine in neutral here. All right, take a few breaths. And let yourself be supported in neutral. Great. From there, we'll create some load on our abdominals, our core muscles. So keeping ourselves in neutral while adding sort of a distraction. So keeping yourself in neutral here, lift your left leg into what's called a tabletop position, so that you have your femur vertical towards the floor, and then also your foot is flexed. And then right here, making sure that you didn't go into more extension or uber flexion or anything. You've kept your diamond shape the same. And then we'll lower that leg down. And with an exhale, other side. And return. And return. And return. And return. Making sure that when the leg comes up, you haven't like shifted the body up this way, and when the leg comes down, you haven't shifted down. You're keeping yourself really steady on the floor, okay? We'll just do 3 more. 1, 2, and last one. Finish on the side that you didn't start with. Great, so that's a super foundational exercise. If that was challenging for you, stay there and do another set with that. Otherwise, we'll move on to a tabletop position and we'll drop the heels down. So you're gonna pull one leg into tabletop, and then bring the other leg into tabletop. And make sure that you didn't arch your back and slide that way. Keep yourself in neutral, all right? And then from here, we'll just bring the right leg down and then the left leg down. Let's switch to the other side lead. So left leg comes up, right leg comes up, left leg comes down, right leg comes down. Right leg comes up, left leg comes up, right leg comes down, and left leg comes down. And go ahead and work at your own pace. Just make sure you're switching your leads. And release, and release. And lift, and lift, and release, and release. One more time on the left lead, or finish on the side that you didn't start with, and release. Great, so that's level 2. Level 3, we're gonna go in holding a tabletop and dropping one heel down at a time. So it's gonna look something like this. So we'll bring one leg in tabletop with your exhale, nice and stable. Other side, nice and stable. From here, just drop one leg down. You'll tap the heel, make sure your foot is flexed. Pull it back up to tabletop, and then other side, and pull back up to tabletop. All right, dropping down and tabletop, and down and tabletop. And we're gonna alternate for about 10 or so. Some of you guys might still be doing your foundation 1 and 2. This is foundation 3. You can build up to this over time. Let's just do 4, 3 more, 2, and last one. Very nice, and then release. Nice job. From here, bring your hands down by your side, and we'll do an articulating bridge. So we're gonna pull the hips up towards the ceiling, but we're gonna do it segmentally on the spine. So draw the pubic bone towards your nose, and then roll your hips up and your spine up until you're in this nice bridge. Walk your shoulders underneath you a little bit more. And then starting at the top, so we'll roll the ribs down first, and then all the way down and release at the bottom here, all right? Curl the spine, curl the hips towards you first, and roll the hips up into a high bridge, and then roll the spine down, nice and easy, and release. Good, one more time with the articulation. Curl the spine up towards the nose, drawing through, and rolling down, and release. Awesome. From here, we're gonna go into a few bridges. This time, no rolling of the spine. It's called a stability bridge, where everything comes up at once. So pushing through the arms a lot, we press the hips up towards the ceiling. Notice how everything came up at once. And then everything's gonna come down at once as well. Oftentimes what I see is some sort of thing when you're coming down, it starts to roll down. Make sure you're not rolling down. Make sure you keep your spine in line. Some people tell me that when they do that, it feels like they're nose diving their tail down towards the floor a little bit. That just kind of uncurls the pelvis and then drops you down. All right, 2 more. Press and down, and press and down. Very nice. All right, from here, we're gonna add a little bit of rotation in our bridge. So go ahead and press your hips up towards the ceiling again. Take your left hip and drop it down towards the floor a little bit while keeping your right hip up towards the ceiling. We'll push that left hip back up, and then the right hip drops down, and then push the right hip back up. Down, push, down, push. And we'll do 4 more. Make sure you're breathing. That hot exhale is gonna save you. 2 more. And last one. Very good. And then from here, let's articulate down. That feels so nice. Roll down. 3, 2, 1, and release. Nice work. From here, let's flip on over to a hands and knees position. All right, so when we're in our hands and knees position, we want to make sure that the wrists are underneath your shoulders and your hips and knees are in line as well. So make sure that you're not too far out here, that you're nice and strong here. If your wrists are bothering you, you can put a little something here to elevate the wrist and give yourself a little bit of space. All right, so like a little wedge, something like that. So from here, we're gonna do a cat-cow. Some of you guys know this maybe from previous experiences, but we're gonna round the spine up. Try to get as much flexion as possible, tucking the tail and letting your head fall through. And then we're gonna go slinky cat-cow. So from here, let your tail unravel first, and then unravel sequentially until your head follows through and your eyes come up. We're gonna start with the tail again. So the tail goes first, and then draw yourself through, push the ground away, and then go tail, unravel all the way through, and extend through the spine. We'll just do it 2 more times. Tail draws in first. Try to get yourself very, very slinky here. And the tail release, and release, and release. Good, 1 more time. Tail draws under, roll through, and tail releases, and release. Nice. Take a little break off your wrists. We'll just shake them out, like you're drying them off. And then bring it back down onto your hands and knees. All right, let's tuck the toes to get ourselves ready for a little bit more heat here. So we're gonna take our right hand and tap the left shoulder, and then bring the hand down. And then the left hand will tap the right shoulder and bring it back down. And from here, we're trying to keep ourselves centered. So if you're a tabletop that had 4 legs, and then now all of a sudden you have only 3 legs, that work is absorbed by the other 3 legs and the trunk. Yeah. Let's do 2 more. Hand to shoulder, hand to shoulder. Very good. From here, slide your right leg back behind you. You're just gonna keep the foot rooted and then pull it back in. So we're getting ready to lift the leg side of our table. Press. And these carpets are nice because you can kind of just slide your toes. If that feels good, stay there. Otherwise, we're gonna slide, keep the foot flexed, and lift. Bring the foot back down, and then slide underneath. Make sure that when you're lifting, you're not dumping into your back. So the lift comes just from the thigh coming up to the level of the pelvis. That was a little bit weird when I took away my hand, but you got the gist there. So we're gonna lift and through. Let's do 3 more. Slide, float, down, return, slide, float, down, return. Nice job. Go ahead and step back, and then let's shake out the wrists. Let's do a little wrist roll. Switch the direction. From here, we're going into opposite arm and leg reach. Some people know it as a bird dog. So right here, we'll take our left arm out in front of us, and then slide the right leg out behind you. Hold for a few seconds. Try not to be all wobbly, all cattywampus. Push into the ground, and then return, and we'll switch to the other side. And return. When you make that switch, try not to relax and then re-engage. Keep your engagement as you work from side to side. And reach. Really nice to strengthen the back side of the body. A lot of people think the core is just your front. This is good to strengthen the back side to match. And last one. Oops, let's do 1 more to make it even. There we go. And release. Bring it back. Let's roller coaster the wrists. We're working up to this. If that felt challenging, stay there. Otherwise, you can come with me, and we're gonna go into some plank, beginner plank work. Bring your hands back down. So we're gonna do that same thing where we slid our right leg back behind us, and then slide your left leg back as well. And all of a sudden, you're in this plank. Here we go. Bring the left leg in, and then the right leg in. Whew. Let's go left leg first. Press the left leg out, right leg out. Hold your plank. Make sure you haven't mountain topped. Keep your weight forward. Let's go right knee in and left knee in. Left knee out, right knee out. Make sure you keep your tail tucked. Don't be all saggy here. Bring your left knee in and your right knee in. Let's do one more. Right, left, hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Push the ground away. 3, 2. Don't get distressed here. Bring your knees down, down, and release. And shake it out. Nice work.